So recently, there have been a lot of new people that have expressed an interest in racing with us here at APR. So for those of you who don't know, APR stands for Association of Pinewood Racers. It's an adult Pinewood Derby race league, and we race just outside of Cambridge, Ohio. Now, although I'm biased, now that Joel has shut his league down, I believe APR is the premier league in this country. We attract the fastest racers from all over this country. Now, most of the new people that I've communicated with, they all had great success at the scout level using graphite. If you watched my previous video, you may already know that I tested the speed difference between graphite and oil. And I found using basics wheels that oil was about 40 thousandths of a second faster than graphite. So if you have any interest in competing in our league, you really need to be using oil. So I've decided I'm going to put a short video together showing my entire oil preparation process. So stay with me. You might find this helpful. Okay, so I'm going to start right here with this set of wheels and this set of axles. Now you may notice I only have 3 wheels and 3 axles. I don't normally worry about the raised wheel that much. As a matter of fact, my raised wheel is normally a damaged wheel. And the axle is just a stock axle from the Boy Scout kit. Now these 3 wheels and these 3 axles have already been polished. I've polished the bores, the treads, and the hubs on the wheels. And I've polished the axles paying close attention to the underside of the head. After polishing the wheels, I took them to my sink and scrubbed them down with Dawn dishwashing soap. And then after polishing the axles, I soaked them for a while in acetone and then in alcohol. I blew the wheels off with high pressure air, and the axles I wiped down with a lint-free cloth and then blew them off also. Okay, so that catches us up. Now, to be successful using oil, the goal is to create a pneumatic bearing between the bore and the axle. And to do that, you have to make the oil bead. So you'll need a couple products. First, you'll need a can of Jigaloo. Now, although it's not sold here in the United States, you should be able to find it on eBay or Amazon. I'll be using the Jigaloo to coat the axles. You'll also need a synthetic sealer for the bores. I know a lot of people use any synthetic car wax that they can pick up at their local store with some success. Now this is the product I use. I've had my best luck with it. It's the number 3 Turbo Derby. It's a sealant. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray each side of the axles with the Jigaloo and place them in this Tupperware container to dry. Now while they're drying, I'll move my attention to the wheels. I'll place a little bit of the Turbo Derby sealant on a Tamiya swab and apply it to both the bores and hubs of the wheels. Then I'll let that dry for a few minutes and I'll come back with a fresh Tamiya swab to buff the bores, and I'll use a lint-free cloth to buff the hubs. I'll blow them out and put them aside. They are ready to race. Okay, so now that the axles have dried for about 30 minutes, I'm going to blow them off with high pressure air, and it's time to assemble. At this point, I'm going to be really careful how I handle the axles. I'll be using my axle pliers. Remember, one small piece of lint will destroy speed when you're using oil. So I'll use my axle pliers and I'm going to wipe off the point of the axle. You might wonder why I'm doing the point, but remember that the point is going to go right through the bore. So if there's any dirt on the point of the axle, you could transfer it to the inside of the wheel. So now I'm going to add 1 drop of oil to each journal, tap off the excess with my fingernail, slide the axle into the bore, and install on the car. So here I'm just adjusting the gap. Now I do that by feel at this point. I like about 10 thousandths gap between the wheel and the body. And I'm going to repeat the process for the other 2 wheels. Then I'm done. It's time to take this car to the tuning board and tune. If you're interested in that information, I've got another video on tuning, so go check it out. So folks, thanks again for watching my video. If you're interested in joining us at APR, please go to apr.boards.net. There, you'll find the rules for every class, you'll find our race schedule, and you'll find the shipping address to ship your car. And if you're in the need of any speed supplies, please check out my website, raceraces.com. So we'll see you on the next one.